I'm including this video in whatever Gotham openings course you've purchased to let you know what exactly you've invested in and the most effective way to put these tools to use and ultimately grow and progress and gain rating and have success. If you own multiple Gotham openings courses, I'm sorry, I didn't make one specifically for each course because frankly the material in this video, like this little video, is everything you'll need regardless of whether you're playing with white or with black. So first things first, you are buying an openings course, which means that you are learning how to play in the best, most practical way to create winning chances with white or with black in response to how your opponents play. But most openings courses, while they are under a certain set of circumstances, generally rely upon the best moves. So the moves according to chess theory and moves that have been played the most and are recommended by computers and history and have been played in top level games. But the truth is that you are going to have a lot of games by move 10 to 15 which are completely unique. And that means that they've gone off the theoretical path. Either you messed up or your opponent played something, different. They messed up. And the reality of the situation is you have to be ready to adapt. You can't just buy this course and learn everything and solve chess and, you invested 40, 60 bucks, 50 bucks, whatever, $20 if it was on sale, and now you solve the game with white or with black. So I want to show you how you can learn game by game, first from a theoretical standpoint, what you actually have to memorize, and then how to adapt as games roll in and you build your experience. Now, first, you should definitely check out, I have a YouTube video called How to Learn and Study Chess Openings, because it will teach you how to utilize two very important tools that all strong chess players use. Number one, the openings database, which is a compilation of over-the-board, historical, and even correspondence. Correspondence is the type of chess where, you send moves over the course of 1 week back and forth. That's, generally computer influence, and a lot of those moves are, well, it's what the engine recommends. And the second thing is just the computer after the game. And first, we will kind of kick it off with the database portion. Any chess website has a database. So chess.com has an openings explorer. Chess has a database of both games that are played on the site, master games. Chess 365, for example, is another one. A lot of things like that. And essentially what you're doing is you're studying moves, and then you are looking at how much something is played, the sample size, and the percentage of wins and losses. Actually, I just realized my window crop is a little bit off, so let me slide this over so you can kind of see it. I guess I should have figured this out right before I did it, but that's okay. It's the beauty of editing on the fly. And now there you go. You see the win and loss rate. And you kind of go like that. And then what you'll do is, for your own games, see, I play a lot of games. I've set that to my games. You could do that same thing on whatever website you use. I'm just going to slide it over back to where it was so you could see the full chessboard. E4, E5, and you will memorize the moves, like of the Vienna, for example. And if they play the Sicilian, you can play A3 or B3. You'll notice my top two played moves are things straight from my courses. This is how you go about studying what move is good at what moment. And for example, if they play a move that's never been played in the database, that means that it's probably bad, right? That means that if it's never been played by a grandmaster or a correspondence player, your opponents are not transcendent chess super geniuses and other worldly talents. They probably just mess something up. So the second element of this is like taking it on a game by game basis. So let's say you and for this I'm actually going to pull up the computer. So let's say you finish a chess game, okay? You see this computer here, the evaluation bar. Well, not the evaluation bar. This is just the the computer engine. You're going to need to use this after your games, not during. That would be cheating, and that will get you banned. But let's say you play like D4. You have my openings course on D4. And they play D5, you go for bishop F4, you play the London, they play E6, knight to F3, and they play knight C6. Now, if you've studied the course, you know that this is not the most accurate move. It's not a losing mistake, but black really should not be putting the knight in front of the c-pawn. The optimal way to play the position, you know, is to is to put the pawn out. But this is already going now away from the openings database because no grandmasters play like this. I mean, this is not Black's most optimal setup. So you keep following the rules. Black plays bishop to d7. You play bishop to d3. Black plays queen e7. And, you know, you just do your London thing because this is how the London system is played. But then notice, if you go back, look at this, it's already +2. And reading a computer evaluation, that just means that, you know, +1 is 1 pawn up for white, -1 is 1 pawn up for black. And so this means that white has a very big advantage. You go, what did I miss? Oh, I missed bishop takes pawn. Whoa, I just missed a free pawn. But Levy never had that in his course. But I also didn't have, you know, this weird thing that Black is doing. Like, what is Black even doing here? I mean, Black is inventing. And as I say throughout the, you know, the openings courses, you can't invent in the opening. You have to know what you're doing. So you have to find this balance of playing what I recommend and the setup I recommend, but also taking it on a move-by-move basis in the beginning of the game and understanding why a certain move is not covered in the course or why a certain setup is not covered in the course, because your games will leave the course by a certain point and you will be on your own and you need to be able to adapt. And if you miss this, you know, and Black ends up castling and you're just doing your London, because this is how the London looks, and then Black plays like f6, for example, it's clear that Black is trying to play g5, and the game is, you know, very back and forth, but look what happens. You might lose a piece. You blundered e5, and now Black is attacking you with the knight, the queen and knight are defending the pawn, and you might accidentally blunder a fork, and you've just lost the game. You go, what? I just spent 40, 50 bucks on this course. How did I lose a piece on the first 10 moves? So you go back and you look at what you messed up. And you go move by move, and you go, okay, so looks like this setup is not in any openings database, and the computer gives a big evaluation. Oh, I just missed an opportunity here in the early stage of the game. And you do this with anything. Look, I can flip it to Black's perspective and go all the way back to the beginning. Let's say you have the e6, b6 course. So they play e4, you know, e6, d4, b6, let's say knight f3, bishop b7, and the move like d5. So this is not a good move. I mean, and it's just, you know, this pawn will just become a target very often. But for example, I mean, if you just freak out and play incorrectly here, you can land yourself in a difficult position. Like for instance, let's say knight to f6, okay, which is the best move, putting pressure on both. And then white plays the move e5, attacking your knight, and you play knight e4. Because this is just a weird position, you're adapting to things on the fly. Wait a second, that knight could have just taken this pawn. Right, so it's things like that. It's like, I don't cover this position in the course because it's a losing position for white already. White just lost the central pawn, right? So white just loses this. But then let's say, you know, they go here, and then you go here, and you lose your knight. So that is not a mistake of the openings course. That's just, okay, like, let me go back and let me learn and adapt to this and understand why what was played in the beginning here is good or bad. For instance, you know, bishop to g5, pinning your knight to the queen. And you go, oh, wait a second, I can take this for free. I'm so smart. And all of a sudden, white goes e5. You're pinned. You can't move your knight because you lose your queen, but this is under attack. And now you're losing. It's like, wait, what? Levy didn't teach me how to... But that's the thing, like, bad moves in the opening, if I don't cover something, it's because it's not good, it's not optimal. But chess is a kind of game where a bad move might need one specific response to punish it, and if you don't find it, it's actually a good move. So chess is weird like that, where especially when you start the game with the black pieces, sometimes you need to adapt and overcome in the opening stage, and the opening specifically will leave the course's area of study and the set moves, and you need to adapt and analyze game by game. And the way you study this is you go, okay, the next time I see this specific position, I am going to play like this, or like that, or however. So now you take it on a move-by-move basis. And the same thing can be said for, like, let's say, for instance, you know, with white, you learn the Vienna after e4, e5, knight c3. If you get a position in the Sicilian defense, okay, it's a totally different thing in the Sicilian defense, and you can't just play this like a Vienna. It's only a Vienna if they play e5. This is called the Vienna because of this. This is not the Vienna. c5, knight c3, and then like this. This is not the Vienna. This is the Sicilian. So you can't say, I'm playing a Vienna against this. No, 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 no. Some things have specific names based on what moves are played. You can't just say, oh, I'm playing the Vienna. What? No, you're not. You're playing a Sicilian defense. It's totally different things, right? And hopefully you add the extra layer of why. Why is this not a Vienna? Well, because in the Vienna, the pawn is on e5. So that is how you draw distinctions between different setups. When you are playing a London system, it's not so, clear cut. I mean, with the London, you'll have to decide and realize how they're setting up. Have they moved their light squared bishop out or not? Have they played c5 or not? Have they played, g6, bishop g7, allowing you to castle queenside or not? So take it on a move-by-move basis, and then that is how you learn. You go back, you analyze with computer, you check the openings database, you go, did I play my opening correctly? What did they do right or wrong? Did I mess up my line? Did they mess up and I didn't punish them? And so on and so forth. So I wanted to include this to kind of show you how to combine everything. And last but not least, all of these courses have video, and they also have something called a PGN. Now, a PGN file, well, as of January 2021, they still have PGNs. Maybe 6 months, 8 months down the line, we come up with a new idea. A PGN is a much more written, detailed file with notes, and you can plug that into any PGN reader. Now, I don't recommend chess.com's because my PGN is, a lot of chapters for these openings courses. It's one per video. So I know that, like, for example, Lead Chess Studies are great to import, but you need to set them to private because otherwise you're publicly broadcasting and technically illegally distributing the content. But, people are out there, and well, there's going to be pirating in anything. Movies, courses, doesn't really matter. So make sure to do that. My personal favorite, I have this app on my phone called Chess Viewer. And Chess Viewer is fantastic. I right here, literally. I have it on my phone. I'm opening it now. And it looks something like this. And Chess Reader, let me show that for the, that's what it looks like. It shows the position and it shows the written annotations there. You could use that, for example. But look around. There's a lot of free software out there to read PGNs. You definitely should play through the moves on a board, physical or digital, and then go and play. Do not look at the course while you play live games. That is cheating. That is equivalent to using computer. Don't do that. As much as you are tempted, learn it first. Go practice it. If you screw up, come back and realize that there could be a learning curve. As you are trying to memorize the moves of the opening, you might be playing slower and getting into time trouble and losing games. That is okay. There is a learning curve associated with picking up these openings, and that is fine. Okay? Emphatic, but that is the note we have to end on. Hope you enjoy, and I have nothing else to say. Enjoy the content.